Hi, guys. All right, so I usually try to do a blind reaction if I'm going to do that with Princella Clark, the Queen Maker. But I could not start watching this when it came across my screen. So I started watching it in all honesty, and I'm going to do so it's not such a blind reaction, but I was more listening, so I'm going to be fully attentive and provide commentary on it. Um, this is about Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens, I think. Um, I know his last name is Owens. I don't remember what his first name is, but he's married to Simone Biles. And the uproar is that he is not singing her praises like we all are, right? And so there is some behavior analysis that is to be had there because she is Simone Biles. Um, let's see what the Queen Maker says on this. Let's see what she drops on that, and then I'll come in as I need to.
It's the High Powered Podcast. Lit conversations, debates, and advice that keep you turned up.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Guilty.
What's good? What's good? It's your girl, Princella the Queen Maker in the building. Yo, we got 723 people up in here tonight. So what we gonna do?
I got 3 people.
We gonna welcome all the new people that just joined the High Power Podcast. Thank y'all so much for checking me out. This the channel where you just get raw, unadulterated truth, right? And over here it's about science, math, philosophy, right? We breaking everything down. I psychoanalyze people and I do things from a point of view of facts that can be backed up, okay? All right, and so I like to analyze human behavior and human psychology. For those of you who don't know, I got a background in cell and molecular biology. I was commissioned as an officer in the Army. I spent 8 years in the Army, top salesman in the car industry, cell phone industry, direct marketing industry. So I got a lot of wisdom in a lot of different areas. And when it comes to human psychology, hey man, I'm a master at that, especially when it comes to men. I know men better than they know themselves. And I show you that, okay? So this week it's been crazy with the games. He started this. So he wasn't consciously thinking about.
Okay.
If you understand psychology, you will understand that you have what is called the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, right?
Yes.
The conscious mind can only think about one thing at a time. It's the mind that focuses on detail. It's the mind that has to concentrate, right, to figure out something. So the unconscious mind,
and it's the mind that contains the ego, which is survival, self-sustaining, survive your survival mechanism is in there.
A subconscious mind is always running. It can think about trillions of things at a time. It's on autopilot. It's impressionable, okay, and it don't need the conscious mind to speak for it. It speaks for itself. So when you really want to know the truth about somebody, listen to what they're saying when they're not consciously thinking about what they're saying. Their unconscious behavioral patterns and their idiosyncrasies will speak volumes for them. Because they were on the show and Ryan Clark was not consciously thinking about the interview, really, because the only reason old boy even got the interview was because Simone Biles got it for him. they lied to him, right? After bouncing on him so much, by the end of the show, they then lie to him and say, oh, well, you know, the reason that you on the show is because of how you play, right? And we saw you play. But that's not the truth, because all the way up until that point, they was disrespecting him and passing him around like a $2 hoe and slam dunking on him the entire show. But Ryan Clark was the main one doing it, right?
Yeah, and you may want to go back to the beginning that I skipped over. I skipped over that introduction of him, and all three men were, yeah, kind of ragging on him, or I guess two that I can think of were really just kind of ragging on him. And you know, in male vernacular, I think, you know, you would call that hating, which there would be no reason, you know, if we're just looking at resumes, for them to be hating on him, except for he got Simone Biles. Right there, yeah. Resume to resume, there's no need. I mean, I don't see that, but let's keep going. I just want to get to the part that where she's actually going to show the video and go from there. And yeah, let's go.
And it was because of his subconscious mind instantly reacting to what was being said. So he wasn't consciously thinking about nothing that he was doing. He
Right.
was just responding to stimuli because he knew that he knew old boy was a liar, and he's moving within the realms of how men operate in creating a dominance hierarchy amongst themselves. So he's
100%.
totally on autopilot based on what he's doing.
Yeah.
So now, the very next day, after old boy done got clowned so hard, and we'll speak about him being clowned and how it affects the male psyche and how it can put Simone Biles in some danger if she is not aware, because we're going to break that down too. But I want to talk first about him, Ryan Clark, trying to backtrack because he's not standing on business right now. But now he looked like the bad guy because he was the bad guy, and now he's trying to save face and blame everybody else for the stuff that he started. He started this. So I'm going to play what he said, and we're going to break that all the way down. Okay?
Let's go.
Show this way today, but this is what it is. So no pristine shots, no great camera angles, just me talking.
Okay, what you're getting ready to see right now is what happens to almost, I would say 95% of anybody who is on video and then later re-watches that video. This is our inside voice, is what you're getting ready to hear. This is the inside voice that we're saying in our head. We just don't come back and do a public, but this is what happens, like, inside our heads.
Talking about Jonathan Owens and having to defend him for something he doesn't or shouldn't need defending.
Stop right there before we get started. The very first thing that you notice about this, which is now we're in the conscious mind now, because he had to take time to set up to make this video and think about what he was gonna say.
Absolutely.
So off the rip, you know this is BS. Okay,
Absolutely.
This is BS off the rip, and then he tries to blame it on production. No special camera angles, no editing, blah blah. Baby, that ain't had nothing to do with editing or nothing. Okay, this had.
And look at his face. Look at his face right there. The eyebrows are coming down. It's a very judgmental. You guys are wrong. You are wrong. That is that. But it was him in the video that was we were just watching his video and agreeing, right? So, yeah.
To do with your genuine responses after you heard what you heard. But the second thing that you hear is his tone of voice. His tone of voice, he tries to pretty it up to sound more prestigious, to sound more professional as he's sitting here coming up with a blatant lie. You do not trust the conscious mind because the conscious mind is a sneaky son of a gun, right? But let's continue.
He was telling the story of the way he met his wife, Simone Biles, on our show, and she was also there. And he told this story with so much love in their eyes.
Pause. No. That's not what I saw. Now, I saw the story. I didn't see that. Now, do they love each other? Of course, I'm not questioning that. But he wasn't telling that story from a place of love and whatever. He was telling that story from the place of, I was like lonely trying to find, man to man, what I'm trying to find. And I was on this site where I knew there were quality women, and had I seen her, I just would have skipped on, past, but she liked me, and so from there, now everything is a bed of roses. But in order to match, if she hit like on her matches, he had already liked her, which to me seems to have been lost in whatever he was sharing. Instead of him saying, you know what, I passed through, I didn't really know who she was, but she's my type. So I clicked on it, I clicked on her, and I'm gonna be honest, a couple others, whatever, and she responded back. And that was that. Now, when I researched her, I realized who she was. Like, and I mean, everybody's gift is not communication. And so it could be that what he was saying just came out wrong. So I'm in no way am I judging what Mr. Owens was saying in that. There's nothing wrong with that. They're two grown people that found each other however they found each other and are happy with each other. And so we want them to stay happy. That is what we would want. But the way that I see them getting there is getting the hell out the spotlight. Getting the hell out the spotlight. You see Denzel and you see Denzel's wife, and she's got it going on and he's got it going on, but they in the back. They are in the background. Get out of the spotlight. People will tear your stuff apart.
Cut the games. Cut the games. Because your initial facial expression was
right.
Putting your hand on your head, laughing, and basically saying, you know what? I'm gonna let you
capping,
finish your
like
story.
my son says.
Now I'm gonna let you finish
you capping.
I'm gonna do you the same way you did him. I'm gonna do you the exact same way that you did him. All right. I'm gonna let you finish your story, Ryan. Yeah.
And every time they looked at one another, you can tell how beautiful it was to them. But everyone is now twisted and taken that and made it something negative. What people haven't done is watch the entire show. Watch him say that she wasn't scared and that once they finally went on the date, it was history from there. Or listen to him talk about their 2020 conversation while she was at the Olympics, as he encouraged her that she could be okay. And when she wasn't, the time he took away with her, even getting married during that time. And now Simone Biles is back to the Simone Biles we know. He talked about the way Simone Biles has changed his life, how much.
See, this is why people say he needed PR. Because this is what people want to see. People want to see liars. The public begs for people to lie. Because this right here, somebody had a conversation with him, right? Somebody had a conversation with him after that, because at the end of the day, this is about getting Simone Biles' approval, and the way they bounced on her husband also made her look bad, right? And now she got to play Captain Save-A-Ho to save her husband's ego. But that ain't it. Y'all, get the likes up. We got 1,500 people in. Let's get the likes up to at least 1,000. But come on, let's listen to him. Because we're going to replay this because I'm going to play how he was responding on this doggone video.
She has helped him, how much their love and their journey and their story is all tied together. So what has happened is people sitting in their homes, whether married or unmarried, are now worried about this man and his relationship.
This dude voice wasn't even sounding like this on the show. His tone of voice don't even sound like this.
Right.
Look at the love in their eyes. It was just so much love between the two of them. And they're sitting in their homes. Sir, sir, you let it be known that you dark skinned, sir. On the show, y'all let it be known that you dark skinned. Why is this important? Because dark skin is dominant and y'all carry yourself with a certain swag. Sir, you talking like...
Interesting. I will say that is, I mean, from a science standpoint, I guess dark skin would be dominant. But I don't know. I've never heard it put that way. And and that's one of the reasons I stay watching to see what she's talking about, because I learn something every time I'm watching it. I mean, not that I didn't, I was pre-med before I went into accounting. So not that I didn't understand that was the case, but the puff out your chest because you're dark skinned scenario, I've just never necessarily experienced that. So, and I don't, my sister will tell you, I don't do colorism. Our family, we got the whole rainbow. So yeah, no, we don't do that.
Like a light skinned dude right now. You talking like a light skinned dude right now. Straight BI. At your own mouths, right? At your own words. This ain't you, partner. This ain't you at all.
Instead of being happy for two people who are excited to be together, two people who support one another wholeheartedly, we've now decided to pick apart.
Man, you might as well start singing Ribbon in the Sky. While you sitting up here fronting. You might as well start singing Ribbon in the...
My first wedding, we walked down the aisle. I walked down the aisle on Ribbon in the Sky. My first wedding, Ribbon in the Sky. So I found that very funny. You might as well be singing Ribbon in the Sky. Okay, sorry.
The sky, right? Because before then, it was like, why you acting like a B.I., right? Right? You was like, your chick chose me attitude. Now you over here singing love ballads while you sitting up here putting on a stone cold front. I can't even listen to this. I can't even listen to you sit up here and lie. This is the age of Aquarius. The veil is coming down.
Yeah.
You supposed to stand on business, Mr. Alpha Male. Because you was swinging Peter Whacker all in that boy face. You was the number one slinging Peter Whacker, right?
Trigger warning, late. If you're watching this, and if or any video that I'm doing where I'm commenting or watching or live reaction to the Queen Maker, like, just know it's gonna come how it comes, baby. She puts no guards up at all. So it is what it is. We're all grown.
You was pulling his whole card so hard.
One clip instead of learning the whole story. So the moral of the story is this. If Simone Biles is happy, why aren't you? If Jonathan Owens is happy, why do you care how they start or what jokes they make? This is a couple that has found their own way, and they found their way to one another in a very unique fashion. And just because you feel like he should be...
Finding each other on a dating site is not anymore a unique fashion. I think it's rather common. Now. So I don't consider that unique fashion. Now, the site was for celebrities. If it's a site, then I would say it's probably pretty common as well. So definitely not a unique fashion. I think maybe unexpected for the masses that you could meet Simone Biles on a dating site, because then that, like, wait, what is this site? So you might need to be trying to get on that site. But, I bet you got to pay a whole bunch of money to get on that site. If anybody knows about the site, let us know in the comments and how much money. If you own that site, how much money it costs to get on that site. I'm sure you got to show some bank statements. I'm pretty sure.
Worshiping.
Now check this out. Look how he gaslighting the entire audience. Just like you feel, sir, it was you with the why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? You was the one with that face. Don't let me pull up the picture of that dude, okay? And you. Because y'all had the same damn facial expression. Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Sir, that was you. Now you talking about why y'all doing this. Now, if he doing this to the public, now Ryan then put himself in the damn fire. Because everybody was giving you credit for being a real nigga, right? Everybody was giving you credit for being a real nigga as you was trying to humble, right, Mr. Biles. Now you gaslighting the entire world. It make me wonder how you be doing your wife at home too, right? When she catch your ass in a lie, when she catch you cheating, whatever the case may be, you turn on this fraudulent ass voice and then you ask her, why you tripping? Huh?
Okay, so she just did an excellent example of gaslighting. I get asked that question all the time. Like, what exactly is gaslighting? Gaslighting is anything. This is my 1 or 2 sentence explanation of gaslighting. Gaslighting is anything that makes you go, am I crazy? Did I really see that? Did I really hear? Okay, wait a minute. Am I remembering wrong? Yeah, when you start doing whatever is happening, right? So it doesn't mean that it only happens between men and women. It happens between women and women. It happens between the United States and people and citizens. It happens with politicians and their voters or the other side. It happens constantly. So even though it's been given to narcissists as their unique thing, it is the American way, baby. We do some gaslighting. So that was an excellent example of the gaslighting. But I'm not gonna go. I don't like to go personal. I don't want to go personal. So I'm not gonna comment on the wife comment and all that. We're gonna leave that with the queen maker, because she's gonna go where she needs to go.
You didn't see what you thought you saw. Something's wrong with you. Do you want this relationship to work? But I just caught you cheating. It wasn't me. Do you need me to play the Shaggy song? Do you need me to play the Shaggy? Something is wrong with you females' minds. I'm starting now. You in the fire with him too. Instead of standing on business like a man, because you said what you said and you did what you did, and now you can't own up to it because you were integral in shifting the public perception about Mr. Biles. And unfortunately, he don't know no better and dug himself into a hole by revealing his true thought process while you was pulling him out the closet intentionally. You was doing it intentionally. You was doing it more than Fred Taylor, and you was doing it more than Channing Crowder. It was you, Ryan. And I think the world knows it was you, which is the reason why you, instead of Fred and Channing, is getting up here making this bullshit ass video.
No, Fred and Channing meant what the heck they said. As a matter of fact, when you go back and you watch on the actual show, I don't know who from who, so I'm just gonna say the guy with the locks and lighter skin was like, that's enough talk about football. Let's get to the real question. I'm not gonna let you skip over the real question. He's the one who redirected to, how did you get Simone Biles? Like that's how that came up. And then, at that point, Ryan took it from there and turned the questions to Mr. Owens. But nah, he didn't kick it off, but he definitely had the faces and was in with the group on that hateration energy that was going on. And it was. And even when I watched it from the beginning, it was just hateration energy to me. They talked about the school he went to and how he wasn't recognized, and just to me, like, that's like inviting a guest to your home. We used to call it growing up like a setup. That's like setting somebody up. So you invite someone to your home and you got two other people there that don't like that person, and you're like the middle person, right? And so you see them dabbing and jabbing and you jump along with them jabbing. And that, to me, yeah, it felt very bullyish. It felt very it did for me. That it did.
The gymnast, Simone Biles, doesn't mean that you can't respect that he's in love with the woman, Simone Biles.
Sir, if he was so in love, like you saying now, why would you pull his whole card and say you ain't really like Simone Biles? You ain't really want Simone Biles. If you felt they was in love, which is you sitting up here coming up with this light-skinned voice, they were in love. Ladies, y'all really need to come to my Love, Men, and Manipulation Decoded workshop and understand what love really is through understanding the 5 components of love, because I keep telling my audience that men use the concept of love to manipulate you, right? They use it for guilt and shame purposes, right? So love didn't have nothing to do with what he was originally talking about, because he was pulling his whole card. Now you have to consciously think about your words and how you present yourself so much that you're trying to watch your tone. You're creating a whole light-skinned tone up here, and you dark-skinned, right? Don't blame me. Don't blame me for the colorism thing when they started the whole show off colorist. What's up, light skin?
Yeah.
Shoot. Well, he ain't really that light, but see, he got green eyes, so he can kind of be in the middle because he don't play like he light skinned, right? Don't come for me talking about light and dark, because they the ones started it. Mr. Dark Skin, you supposed to be masculine. You supposed to be standing on business. And now you're doing some light-skinned beta male shit.
Man, that's their relationship. And if they could smile, you should stop frowning. Welcome to the Friday period.
Boy, bye. Boy, bye. I'm gonna pull your whole card now. You was doing all the whole card pulling, now I'm gonna pull yours, okay?
Yeah, boy, bye.
Doggone shame. Let's see. Y'all got her husband up here looking like this. Now, Simone Biles had her own husband up here looking like this. Simone Biles got this boy up here, right, knowing damn well she got all them damn Olympic medals. She got all them damn Olympic medals. Girl, you ain't supposed to be doing no TikTok challenges, switching genders, because you already know that you dominating this light-skinned boy as a dark-skinned woman. Now you got him up here in some hoochie daddy shorts and your shirt and a dog. And then you wonder why Ryan Clark was up there bouncing his Peter Whacker on his head. Okay? Simone.
Why would okay.
You were wrong for this. You were wrong for this, because the internet is dragging him like hot fire. Okay?
Hot fire.
Doggone shame.
3-inch vertical, right? That runs a 4.3 from St. Louis, ends up at Missouri Western.
Man, honestly, I was a late bloomer.
Okay, so he was a late bloomer. So Ryan Clark is the first one to ask him how you end up at basically a no-name school, right? Right?
Yeah.
He was the one that asked this question, right? And then the next thing was this. Nobody even know where the school is. Don't nobody even know where the school is.
All us as kids said we're gonna play in the league. Then, like you saying, you get hurt, then you go to Missouri Western. To be honest, I don't even know what the hell that is or that mascot is.
Look, that's the second shot that it took at him. Now they didn't call him weak because they introduced him as light skinned. Look.
All us as kids said we're gonna play.
So Channing Crowder don't know what a damn school is, all right? And then here go Ryan Clark. Here go Ryan Clark. Nobody even know where the school is. Hold on, where he at?
Missouri, Griffin, man.
It's in, Griffin, Missouri. Where is that?
Missouri.
Look at his facial expression. Y'all, now y'all hear his voice? His voice.
Remember, I said this is like being there with two of your friends who don't like the person who's the fourth person who's coming in the door, and they're taking these little jabs. And to me, I felt sorry when I did watch it. I felt sorry for is it Jonathan Owens, y'all? Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna say Owens. I felt sorry for Owens because like he has to smile. He's on camera, but like, dude, y'all riding hard. Like, and maybe that's not the right word. Hating. We in our time it was hating, or whatever. But yeah.
Voice don't sound like light-skinned Ryan Clark. It sound like dark-skinned Ryan Clark. Okay?
Missouri, Griffin, man.
It's in, Griffin, Missouri. Where is that?
Missouri.
Look, Missouri? Where that's at? I don't know. Missouri? I don't even know that mascot, right? So they bouncing on him. This dark skin Ryan Clark, right? With the why the fuck you lying, right? That's him. But now he got light skinned Ryan Clark trying to talk for him. Hold on.
I'm going to fast forward just a little bit, actually.
Humility about themselves because they have to run by their ego. Let me pretend that I'm him. If they act and paint him in this dark skin Ryan Clark, right? Now, they done labeled him light skin and basically said light skin is weak. Light skin weak. Simone Biles is dark skinned with a bunch of medals, right? Fred Taylor is darker. They the darkest two dudes up there. And he got 74 touchdowns, right? Played 13 seasons. Ryan Clark, dark skin, right? And he was selected to be in the Pro Bowl and won a championship. Played the same doggone position that old boy played. So now I need you to understand, since Ryan Clark plays the exact same position, light skin in the man, since Ryan Clark plays the exact same position that old boy played, Mr. Owens, I really can't remember this dude's name.
I can't either.
Ryan Clark plays the exact same position. He has more of a reason to be bouncing on her husband the way he bouncing on him because he plays safety. He played 13 seasons, just like Fred Taylor. They both played the same amount, and his stats are way better than Mr. Biles. So he knows,
She called him Mr.
he
Biles.
knows even more so about the struggles that Simone Biles' husband is going through. So he takes it as an opportunity, right, to reign over him and tell him about his own story and call him out and say, yeah, I used to lie. I used to lie when I was undrafted, but it don't look bad on him to be undrafted because he was selected to be in the Pro Bowl and he won a championship. So they not in the same boat, even though they play the same position and he's undrafted. So Ryan Clark was the one that was bouncing on him the most during that entire show. And as he's trying to backtrack now, instead of him standing on business and say, my behavior and the way I approach this and the way maybe they weren't the best questions. Maybe they didn't paint him in the best light. And I'm responsible for how I responded to him that gave the audience an impression that might not have been totally accurate about Mr. Biles. So I take that. That's on me. That's what a man would do. But when it's time to man up, all these dudes pretending to be alpha males and pretending to be the biggest nigga in the room, they all get cowardly. Don't none of them stand on business. None of them stand on business. Now, I'm going to tell you, if her husband was legitimate, because I have shown you throughout this interview that he wasn't, and I showed you that these three dudes took an opportunity to make this boy look weak as hell, right? In front of this highly decorated Olympian. Let me tell you how if he was genuine, how he should have responded. But because his ego is so fragile, he couldn't respond in the appropriate manner. If they would have asked him, let me pretend that I'm him. If they asked me, how did you pull Simone Biles? This would have been my answer. I don't know. I don't know. But I can tell you one thing is I'm thankful for whatever it is that she saw in me that drew her to me. Because I ain't the best player. I know I ain't the best player. I've been struggling to be seen my entire career. And I've been working so hard to be seen. But for somebody of her stature to see me when nobody else saw me, there was something that I probably don't know about myself. And all I can say is I'm thankful and I'm grateful. And I'm going to be the best man that I can be for her. And I'm going to be the best man that I can be for myself because she is so great. She inspires me to go beyond my limitations, even when I don't believe in myself. See, that's how a real one would respond.
Okay, sis. I don't know. You might have lost me on that. That might have been a little too humble. But like an alpha male will say, you know what? I don't even know. Yeah, they can say that. They can say the I don't know part, but how she picked me and that requires a level of humility that very few people, not just men, people actually have. And then it requires some work. Like Iyanla used to say, you got to do the work. So after doing the work, you get that. Before doing the work, I don't think you get the response that was given. I mean, that was his response. So we honor that, and that was his response. But, if he had been coached, we don't know his background. We don't know what his life has been like. I only saw a clip from the whole thing. I didn't see the entire podcast. So I really can't. I'm not going to speak on that piece. I'm only speaking on what I actually saw, and I saw him answer genuinely from a space of being genuine, and then everybody busted out laughing. Because it had to be a lie, and I think there's different perceptions. Just like when I use this all the time, when there's a car accident, everybody saw it from their angle. Everybody sees it from their angle. If there's a pedestrian on each corner, they're all going to see it only from their angle. And there is one truth, and none of the four corner pedestrians is going to know the truth of what happened, right? None of them. They only can see from their perspective. And the same would be true here. I think this is a situation where we want to say he's lying, that he didn't know who Simone Biles, but there are people who don't know who Simone Biles is. It could be for a myriad of reasons. It could be that he was so into football. As a matter of fact, I'm tempted to call my son. I'm fixing. It's early, but I'm fixing to do that just to see. I'm curious. I'm going to call. Hold on one second.
No, you gotta stop doing that.
Oh, what? Calling too early? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Quick question. Do you know who Simone Biles is? Huh?
I feel like I've heard that name.
Okay, I was just trying to prove something. I'm on a video. Okay, love you. And I'm sorry, I won't call early. Bye. Sorry, got in trouble. Anyway. So, see, he was like, I think I might have heard that name before. These kids don't know, y'all. They not paying attention like that. He did not know who she was. He liked her. She liked him. They connected. They got married. They're in heaven. We honor that. But this is what happens. So, but what I really want to get to, and I know Queen Maker's going to get to it, because this is where I stopped and said, oh, this needs to be a blind reaction. But this is how men do each other. And so I have been married, and men create insecurity in men about their wives. They do that. I'm not sure that it's like a play. It's like how they wrestle. Boys wrestle when they're young, and they all this wrestling and look like they're fighting, but they ain't fighting. Mama, we not fighting. Stop wrestling. Well, we just playing. No, that don't look like playing. That look like fighting, right? That's what men do. And this is that in grown men's terms. This is what this is that happened.
And let me tell you something. If he would have responded like that, nobody, I mean nobody, would be bouncing on him. Nobody. That would have opened up so many doors for him. That would have drew compassion and respect. But people ain't got no humility about themselves because they have to run by their ego.
Well, okay. So me and the Queen are slightly edging apart right here, because I do believe he answered his truth. And I think that's, that in his mind, that was his perception of what happened. Now think about it from the standpoint of someone who has never been seen, has never been recognized, had to work harder than the average. He even shared, I had long arms, I had this, but I everything was just awkward. I don't think I was fully developed until my last year of college. So but in order that, being that he didn't develop, and so he didn't have the high school reign, he didn't get the scholarship to the top college, he didn't, at this point he's just trying to get some free schooling, and he goes to Missouri or whatever. This is somebody who had to believe in himself, which is what we want in our men. We do want men to believe in themselves, and he had to believe in himself to keep going, to keep trying, to keep going out, to keep trying to get on the team. Then he played the practice squad, and to keep going out there and doing it, as opposed to just saying, well, forget it, go get a job. Like, that's our parents and grandparents' favorite thing. Just forget that dream, just go get a job. No, you go after your dream. So what it takes in tenacity for him to go after whatever it is he has at this point, that tells you that from his perspective, he sees things differently than most people. And so from his perspective, I think that was his truth. I don't think it was an ego play on, from his standpoint at that point. I think it was his truth. And the men reacted accordingly. Now, there was a comment, a reaction of Simone, but I'm going to wait and let her get to that part. So we're probably going to be doing like a part 1 of this, and then probably a part 2, and then we'll just, finish it out at a later point. But let's keep going for now.
Because they want to seem like the big dog, but this wasn't a time for you to seem like the big dog. But he couldn't say that because that ain't in him. He couldn't say that because that's not in him, and that's not how he feels. Because every single thing that he said warranted a response like that. I don't know. I've been playing in the league 6 years. I ain't never been in the spotlight, Yeah, I went to a no-name school. Hell, US, I don't know where that damn school is. I had to use a map and a GPS to find that motherfucker. Right? Yeah. And then, to make matters worse, hell, I was a janitor for the damn Chiefs when they came and played at my school. So for this world champion Olympian to see me, baby, don't ask me how I pulled her, because I don't know. But
I would have been like, favor ain't fair, dog. Favor ain't fair. Now that's what I would have said. But the reality is, I want to be careful that I don't punish him for having self-confidence that men need to have in themselves. Like, but yeah, I kind of, he gave his truth. His truth is his truth. His wife knows his truth. She's been with him every day, all this time. She knows his truth. So that's his truth. And in his perspective. And it's okay.
I'm thankful. And the only thing that I know is that she is going to make me be a better me, because I will not fail myself, and I'm not going to fail her. But these dudes, they too fucking weak in the mind to humble themselves like that. They want to bounce on the motherfucker, right? They want to bounce, right? But that ain't in his soul, so he couldn't say that. It ain't about having no game. Y'all, this ain't about spitting game. This is about coming from the depths of your soul and being legitimate. He can't say that because that ain't in his soul. Survival and ego, that's where he at. So he responded exactly how he should have responded, with the damn truth. He responded how he should have responded, which was with the truth. Stop asking people to lie.
That's right.
The male will never say nothing like that because he's too weak. He's too ego-driven to seem vulnerable in front of a bunch of men. Especially when you got Andrew Tate, this red pill stuff out there. They got to prove their manhood, not realizing that being a man is being able to humble yourself, being able to put your ego aside. They can't do it. They weak. So, Ryan Clark just showed his weakness, that he ain't no man either, because he couldn't stand on business. He couldn't stand on accountability for his actions and his words on camera. Instead, he blames the audience when he was the one that was very critical and shifting public perception by asking that boy the questions that he asked him, by pulling him out the closet, by bowing up on him as a safety who won a championship, right? Knowing that you outranked this dude. You know that you outranked this guy, right? To get opportunities to pass his genes along. The male heavily depends on women's validation to make that happen. In the wild, without human interference, the majority of males would not make it. Because of this, their biological nature, driven by testosterone, makes them highly competitive. It makes them highly aggressive, right? So now what the system of patriarchy did, it was centered around men so that it could leverage the male's aggression, his energy, to make him build this matrix, to make him die in wars, and to use him for entertainment purposes. So now what they've done is they've transmuted the energy from the male's biological purpose and displaced them or moved them into a system of games, right? So that the male can not only just conquer women, but conquer business, conquer sports. This is a transmutation of energy, right? So men depend heavily on women's validation biologically, right? And as a reward for the male being the slave to the corporations, for him dying in their wars, for him being their entertainment, for him being the manual labor that they use, they have rewarded men with access to women that they would not have under natural circumstances, okay? So now with this, there comes a extremely high level of competition that is placed on the male outside of just genetics, because he's fit to compete just to pass his genetics. He's really not fit to compete with being a quote-unquote provider. He's not fit to compete at the levels that this artificial system has created, okay? He's not. So this makes men highly insecure. It makes them extremely ego-driven, right? And it makes their egos even more fragile than they would be in a purely natural environment. So now with that being said, when you take women out of their natural egalitarian world, where there was a separation between, a healthy separation between males and females, where males were out in the wild, right, with total freedom to live and compete biologically, what they've done is they've erased women's system where they lived on an egalitarian level, and they put them in a male pecking order. They put everybody in the same system, right, where it should have only been men, but now women are in it. And so since males are highly competitive, which that's the reason, due to testosterone, the males begin to compete with the females as opposed to competing for the females. So what is occurring is a biological behavioral pattern as a result of this artificial system that gives men proximity to women that they would not naturally have. So now they're competing with the women. Well, here's the problem. They're competing with the women, but they still need their validation because their ultimate driving biological motivation is to pass their genes along. So now there's two conflicting things going on in the male's mind.
And what that comes out to be is anger. It does. That is what ends up coming out as anger. And it is exactly what happens. And I've had it happen in my relationships. I've had it happen in my marriages. That is exactly what happens. And if that man too many times is called Mr. Biles as opposed to Mr. Owens, and she being called Miss Owens or whatever, that will also ultimately end up being an issue, especially in a man who feels like, and I believe he did tell his truth is that she came for me. I didn't come for her, she came for me. And that's what he said. But she corrected him and said, wait. When I hit like, there was already a like there. That's how we matched. That means you had already liked me and I liked you. And so she corrected that. But the way he initially said it did not come out that way. It was like she saw me, picked me, knew what she wanted, and she said, well, we matched. You liked me, I liked you, we matched, and I made the first contact to you. So she's owning her piece in that. And there's nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Why is this dangerous? Why is this dangerous for her?
It is dangerous. I agree.
Well, I'll turn it on. Go get me the remote. Yes, ma'am. So why is this a dangerous situation for Simone? Number one, a lot of males have an issue with knowing how they feel on the inside, right? A lot of males have an issue with knowing how they feel on the inside. Hold on just a second. Let me, I'm gonna play something for y'all while I go and help her with this TV real quick.
Let me.
So I'll play that for you. To prove themselves against other men. Now, with his background, okay, of not feeling seen and not feeling sought after, he has two things that's going against him. He's in survival mode.
Owens, she's talking about, not Ryan Clark.
He's in total survival mode because men are codependent by nature. Okay, these are scientific facts. They're codependent by nature, so they tend to always seek external validation for their existence on planet Earth. His mother has his father was shot and killed, right? Unalived. And his mother has a health issue, right? That he feels that he has to help her with. All of this is on his psyche. In addition to his biological impediments. Another thing, men have an issue, a lot of them, with understanding how they feel internally. A lot of them do not have the words to express how they feel. They don't know, right? They don't know. And the inability to communicate or to express emotion make men bottle up a lot of things, okay? Until it explodes. Well, here's another problem. Testosterone and anger make a volatile cocktail. They make a volatile cocktail. So here is the problem. It's a lot of problems, but I'm letting you know. The male's orbital frontal cortex, which is his impulse control center, it's supposed to work in tandem with the amygdala, where anger, right, the emotion of anger comes from.
She be teaching. I'm talking.
When testosterone rises too high, it tends to cut out the job of the orbital frontal cortex, making men highly impulsive. Well, anger, where will this anger from him come from?
Yeah.
The anger is going to come from his inability to be recognized on his own without being in the shadows of somebody else. Okay? The more he's made fun of, the more...
I have to jump in here. This is so valid. It is so valid. And one of the reasons I follow her and subscribe is because if you get past the cuss words and all the other stuff, sometimes she might be, acting like, I don't know, but it's a lot to get past sometimes. But the bottom line is she knows her stuff. And that is so valid. And I'm just thinking about my last husband, and it's never for me been an issue about who makes what. As long as we both contributing, I'm good. But shortly after we were married, or before we even got married, he had a car accident or whatever. But then shortly after, he got a new vehicle. Well, it was a significantly better vehicle than what he had initially. And even with that, he would drive my vehicles. And I just remember one time he pulled up in a vehicle and they said, "Oh man, your wife letting you sport that?" Oh, if I tell you that anger when he came back, he never, just didn't want to drive that vehicle no more, didn't want, just all of that came back on me. And so there is anger. And because what men have to realize, and they're not going to, according to the Queen Maker, is because they don't even acknowledge or validate in any way anything we say as women. But the reality is, men need to understand that when you do that, whatever that is called, that, what is it called? I don't want to say hating, but whatever you're doing, to belittle or, get the ranking order in, so that you can uprank the other male or whatever, you are creating anger there. And in a married man, or a man who's going back to his woman in any type of relationship, or even going home to deal with mom, it wouldn't matter. They are going to feel that, because that anger has to go somewhere. And it typically does come out with the people you love. The people closest to you. That's just the bottom line on it.
Or he's trying to prove himself. And the more he falls behind Simone Biles' shadow, as people like Ryan Clark and everything are standing up on him, the harder it's going to impact his psyche. And the angrier he's going to get. And if he does not know how to express emotions, it could one day get to a point where he loses control. Because another thing, not only is society placing this pressure on him, which is unrealistic for most males, he is now, Simone Biles said something that's really going to hurt his ego. It's really going to hurt him. She thinks that she's helping him, but she don't realize that she said something in that interview that has literally destroyed him on the inside. What did she say? She said, one day, he won't be known as Simone Biles' husband. that she's going to be known as Jonathan Owens' wife. Why is this a blow? Because he knows that
it will never happen. That's why it's a blow. It will never happen. It I mean, nothing's impossible, but that's pretty close to impossible, because of where she is in her legacy. But I will say, in some people's mind, I bet had I asked my son who Jonathan Owens was, he would know that. Right? So it's all relative. It's, nothing is everything. And so there are people who are going to know Jonathan Owens and they're like, who is Simone Biles that got Jonathan Owens? Right? There are people who feel that way too. So, the reality is we all are looking from our own perspective, and that's what we're seeing. I think I'm going to stop here. It's gonna get better, and I know where this is. You know what? Let me see. Can I get 5 more minutes? Yeah, let's get 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
He is not as good as her, and she done put him on an extremely high pedestal that he has to mentally try to live up to in the public eye. That he knows he don't have the skill or the talent to do. And that is going to crumble him emotionally, because he's always going to feel like a failure. And then for Channing Crowder to tell him, yeah, you okay, you good as a safety, but you'll never be good as this little motherfucker here is in gymnastics. Blow to his ego.
Yeah.
Major blow. And this is going to cause a lot of insecurity, a lot of inability to express how he truly feels. So if he don't start cheating on her, which would be the best thing that he could do, as the pressure begins to weigh on him too heavy, the best thing that he could do is cheat on her. But if he don't, all of that pressure is going to build up in him, and one day he could snap. And it's unfortunate because she's too high. And then on top of that, not only are you dealing with the pressure, the communication challenges, and knowing that he is responsible for his mother, it's a lot of pressure. Now he's in the public eye. He's going to resent her.
Yeah. Because
everything that he would get is not on his own merit. It's because he's living in the shadows of her. Absolutely. So even though she thinks she's doing the right thing, even though she thinks she's doing good, she's killing his ego. She's killing his self-confidence, because he's going to feel like he can't do shit without her. And no man is really going to respect him, and men live to dominate other men to win the respect and the affection of a woman. Yeah. So when you help them like that, when his whole thing, like he said, is struggling to get attention, struggling to be seen, and constantly failing, Simone Biles is the reason he even got this interview.
Yeah.
So if you don't think that there is some underlying resentment that he is holding on to, that the reason that he's being noticed is not for his skill, but because of what he said on that interview, and the only reason that he even said it and was able to be heard is because she got that interview for him, there's going to be an underlying level of resentment that he will never let go.
Absolutely.
And the longer they go on, and the further he falls back in his career, because he's 28. The average retirement age of an NFL player is 27.6.
Oh, I thought it was 27.4.
40-year-olds playing on the active roster.
Mm-hmm.
So he's reaching the age of decline in his career. She now has publicly put him on a high-ass pedestal that he can't measure up to. And then on top of that, he lives in a land of delusion. Let me tell you about delusion. Delusion creates anger in people who are confronted with the truth.
That's right.
Delusion creates anger in people who are confronted with the truth.
Whoo, she's
Anger and testosterone do not mix. Anger and testosterone make a volatile cocktail. He has already shown you that he's going to take shots and level up on her because he cannot measure up to other men. So he's in competition with her. He could never give her praise.
Right.
He could never give her praise for her accomplishments. The only thing that he praised her on was her ability to cook. Because in a man's mind, right, the kitchen is where a woman belongs. So he is in competition with her. On top of him being in competition with her and him not being able to handle reality because he's very delusional, and you know that he's delusional because he was cut 2 times from a team where he thought he was performing at a certain level, and them folks told him to get out because he wasn't fit. So he was cut 2 times. Then Simone Biles tells her, he shows her a video. He says, I think I did real good here. She turns around and tells him, no, you was a little slow. So you have this Olympian right here telling you that you're slow, destroying your delusions about yourself. You being bounced on by 3 different men putting you in your place. The guy is not going to be able to handle this pressure. He even told you on camera that he was getting annoyed in public when he has to take the pictures, when people keep asking him to take pictures of him and Simone. He ain't gonna be able to handle this pressure that long. And with all these people making fun of him, that's how he's being recognized. He's struggled not being seen as a quality person the entire time. Now he has been pulled out the closet by Ryan, and the whole world is making fun of him, and he's married to Simone. Y'all can think, you can think morality all you want to.
Right.
That ain't how life works. You need to accept the human body and the neurology for how it's designed. And understanding the male biological and neurological makeup, and understanding what they're here for, and operating in an artificial system, I'm telling you, he ain't gonna be able to handle this pressure. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's way too much, and he's living in a house with somebody. He has to try to live up to her public acclaim that he gonna be better than her. He don't have the skill to be better than her. And it's going to build jealousy and resentment. And if he cannot express how he feels, it ain't going to be good. So the best thing he could do at any point is to just cheat on her.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm not yelling that he should cheat on her, but if that is how he has to let the anger out, that's better than the alternative, which is to direct that anger at her. And cheating on her is directing the anger at her as well, but it's not physically impacting her. Some people would argue it is if she finds out all that, but yeah, hopefully he will express his anger to her, and then she will know, after having her period of time where she's had to deal with so much with her fame, that possibly she will connect him with a licensed counselor or someone who can help him deal with all of this, because it's a lot. It's a lot. He's famous too, but even if he wasn't, it's a lot to be in a relationship and I have never with somebody of that level. I have with someone who was considered or considered themselves a local celebrity, and was considered. In all fairness, we got stopped and asked and take pictures, and so that did happen. So I get what Princella is saying. I totally agree on that part, and I hope that how this ends. And I don't need to do a part two. I'm going to be able to stop with this, because this is the gist of it. All right, so you guys have a great day. And I'm going to get my day started as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a good one.